It's transphobic. If you're wondering what the problem with that is, it's that it's transphobic.
Why don't you let him speak? Oh wait, maybe he will.
His editor said to him, apparently, I might get cancelled for this, and his response is basically, who cares, Lamau? In their post regarding their apparent cancellation, his editor references Vorsh's post that he used as an explanation of using the tactical N-word. And for those of you who are...
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, here's the thing. In all honesty, I'm not the biggest fan of Vosh's older content. He was a lot edgier than he is now. He's still, pretty edgy, but he's kind of like mellowed out a bit, which I think is really good. He definitely used to, say things like this, and it was kind of not the best. And he addressed it when he went over this video too, but he said something about how he should have just done it and left it at that, and not done this whole big comment on it on YouTube. But he did, so here it is. I look at it as it's supposed to be like satire anyway, but it's really hard to indicate that through text anyway, and you can't do /s because that's sarcasm.
Blessed enough to not know what...
Oh, by the way, tone indicators, not ableist. There was a whole thing that the YouTuber The Odd Ones Out got in hot water for a while ago. It's talking about tone indicators on Twitter. I think tone indicators are great because you cannot tell what someone's tone is through text. You can interpret it and think that you might know it, but we'll say maybe 6 to 7 times you might be correct. Might be.
This is a situation where Vorsh, in a debate with a fascist, just said the N-word with the hard R, literally just as a tactic to get shock and loads of views and controversy.
Never saw this one, by the way. I was never a big fan of his. I think I talked about this before, but I was never a big fan of his specific debate content. Just didn't appeal to me that much, but whatever.
Yeah, and this is something that Xanderhal classifies as a good meme. He also references Vorsh's rant about queer people online, which was extremely queerphobic, again, because of what I mentioned previously about attaching toxic online behaviors to one marginalized demographic. It's super annoying because, yes, some people are toxic online, but just log off. You don't have to see those people.
It astounds me how it's pretty well understood that the progressive take on things like cyberbullying is that the reality that just logging off doesn't work. So to have the leftist, DJ Mule here, try to say that, oh, just log off if they're bothering you. Okay, first of all, just ignoring a problem doesn't make it go away. Secondly, no. You have to address things, but do it in a way that maintains the humanity for people. For example, I don't think DJ Mule is inhuman or anything, nor do I want to dehumanize him with these videos or anything like that. I just strongly disagree with his content and think that optically and otherwise he is not good for any type of progressive ideology or leftism or anything like that at all. But yes, it's valid to say that people in a community are toxic. That's, yeah.
This isn't a huge thing to worry about for most people, but you see, the people that Xanderhal's actually talking about here are just people that disagree with him, and he can't have that. Oh no, God forbid. He starts...
Oh, he left the comments on. Wait, didn't he lock the comments? Wow, these debate nerds really love video, yada 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 yada, blah 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 blah. If I'm correct, oh, I thought, Well, I know he, let's see. Where is he? Why indeed? What the hell? What is he on Twitter? Well, in any case, if I can't find it, which maybe I can't. I don't know what all this is about. All right, whatever. DJ Mule went and privated all his accounts on Twitter and everything, and made it so people can't talk to him anymore. Let me see if I can just find. Let's see. Can we just? Oh no. What is this guy's? Hang on a minute. I'm gonna find it. Oh wait, here's his Twitter. Okay. Follow. Oh, did he unlock it now? Well, that's nice. Let's see. Can people... Oh, okay. Well, alright, good for him. I guess he's reopened it, for lack of a better word. He's like, allowed Twitter to... Anyway, point is he was hiding from criticism for a while there. So it's just,
To say that the way to solve this problem is to make sure that there are less transphobic and queerphobic parents out there, kind of trying to reinforce the fact that his de-radicalization is the solution to a lot of problems. Not that, he should reflect on some of the more problematic aspects of his behavior that these so-called woke scolds point out. Now, I'd be lying if I said that people didn't go too far online. Absolutely they do. I've seen hundreds and thousands of baby's first political opinion, and people who really go ham and puritanical on issues that aren't really that much of an issue once you put them under a close analysis. But if I thought that people doing that was a problem, I'd be doing a video about them and not debate bros. It's good that people are exploring the boundaries of our language and how the roots of certain words can be harming people and how certain attitudes and behaviors need to be changed. It shows that our culture is evolving into one that's based on love and compassion rather than hateful exclusion. And it can also show that we have a long way to go when it comes to people resorting to puritanical, Protestant, colonialist rhetoric when trying to change people's minds about things.
You see what I mean with the leftist terminology, the buzzwords, all this stuff? Quite honestly, most of what he just said there wasn't really that bad. But he had to do his little virtue signal with his, colonialist, Protestant, whatever he said, rhetoric. It's just like, dude, I don't know.
But that's all by the by. There's one trying to change people's minds about things. But that's all by the by. There's one thing that's extra telling in this video. He says that woke scolds need to be de-radicalized in the same way that Nazis do. So what does that tell us about Xanderhal?
Does he say it in the same... Does he say that it needs to be done in the same way that Nazis do? Because again, here he is. Watch.
He says that woke scolds need to be de-radicalized in the same way that Nazis do.
Really, where? I see him talking. He might be talking about that idea, but I don't see him using that exact language or anything close to it. Why don't you play the audio of what you're talking about and show that Xanderhal is actually saying the things you say he's saying? Is it maybe, just maybe, because he's not actually saying those things? Is that maybe possible, Mr. DJ Mule? Mr. Mule? I don't know. What do you think?
So what does that tell us about Xanderhal?
Oh, this guy 100% Sam is centrist lib too, by the way.
So if you're a Xan fan and you've made it this far in the video, I gotta say kudos, because most Debate Bro fans don't really watch the video and simply react to things out of context and then claim that I'm doing the same thing, despite the hours and hours and hours of content that I've watched from your special boy. And some of you sat there saying, Well, no, Xanderhal is not a lib. He's not a centrist. What do you mean? He's progressive. He's a leftist. All right. Calm down. We're going to get into it. Just grab a nice drink, some snackies, maybe play your favorite Vibby game while you're watching this video, and we're going to get into it. Scrolling through Xanderhal's YouTube page, you'll notice that there isn't a lot about his actual views when it comes to material conditions or class consciousness.
Not sponsored.
A lot of his left-wing content is based on civil and human rights, which he kinda shits all over when he does his woke scold content. So let's go right back to his first video that got a ton of views, how I almost became alt-right.
This is actually a really good video, by the way.
Starts off by saying he never really went into politics and had a fairly progressive mom who taught him why it's wrong to be racist, misogynist, and bigoted in general, and that he was super disappointed in the USA and Americans in general when Trump got elected because even he could see that Trump was a bad guy. He then talks about his radicalization through YouTube content. It's so weird listening to this because it's almost like he's talking about himself when he talks about Chris Raygun, who he describes introduced him to alt-right content. He says that Chris described himself as center-left and did a lot of content about how feminism was obsolete in the USA in 2016. Obviously, Xanderhal doesn't do content like that, but he does do content that attacks people that are too left-wing for him or annoy him personally. A lot of similarities, you know?
Okay, so I don't know much about Chris Raygun. But I know that he did this little parody series called, I guess, Ain't No Rest for the Triggered, or just Triggered, or whatever it was called. Years ago, about 5 years ago, he did a video, as you can see here, called Come Be PC. He did a few other parodies like this, where he did, like, you know, Ain't No Rest for the Triggered, which was a, or Social Justice, the musical, that was what it must have been. Which was, you know, a parody of Ain't No Rest for the Wicked by Cage the Elephant. Great song, by the way. The original. This was as far as I kind of went into the conservative sphere, the, you know, anti-SJW, go woke, go broke mentality. And I gotta say, if this is like, well, for Xan, this is just his introduction. But Chris Raygun is actually somebody who's come a long way since. He actually, I would say, has a, well, probably, I'd say similar experience to a lot of people where he just kind of, you know, gradually grew up, really, and just kind of grew out of his whole, like, anti-SJW phase. And I think that was a similar thing that happened to Xan as well. I mentioned that because what DJ Mule will get into here, I feel like I mean, I've essentially seen this video like 5 times now, but from what I remember, he's going to be extremely uncharitable towards Xanderhal here. And toward the idea of breaking free from the alt-right, which is a very difficult thing to do. I was never far right or anything like that, but I do know how it is to, you know, have to change your views, you know, come to a point where you just realize everything that you believed was wrong and you have to adopt a new way of thinking, however you phrase that. So let's see what DJ Mule has to say about Xan's journey.
The video is very short, so I'd encourage you to watch it yourself, but the long and short of it is that he went further down the pipeline and saw Charlottesville and the murder of Heather Heyer, and then he saw that that shit was actually really bad and wrong, so he started to lose faith in it. He then talks about how destiny pulled him out of the alt-right pipeline. For those of you that are somehow blissfully unaware of density, here is a quick recap.
Real quick, I don't know if he said that to be funny, but it's destiny, not density. Although it's funny, it does remind me of that line in that movie. I can't remember Back to the Future, my favorite movie, where George goes up to his future wife. I don't remember her name. I know she's also Marty's mom. And he says, you know, he goes up to her. I want to play the clip, but I can't. So let me just. Here, we'll just do a GIF. Can't get copyrighted for that, right? Let's see here. Yeah. Where he comes up to her and he's like, I'm your density. I mean, your destiny. I just thought it was funny. Just reminded me of that. Anything that is a bright spot, something that I'm reminded positive in this insane, using ableist language, insane, awful hit piece.